Hi, this is Noah speaking. I'm calling to check the status of my order. Oh, great. Thanks for letting me know. I'll keep an eye out for the email. Have a good day.
Hey, Noah. Who was that? You sound very professional on the phone.
Oh, just following up on an order. I've been practicing my phone etiquette lately. Gotta sound sharp, right? Hey guys, did you notice I said the word phone etiquette? So, phone etiquette just means using polite and clear communication on a call. It's about being respectful, like saying please and thank you, and speaking clearly so the other person understands you.
Ah, so it's like having good manners. But on the phone?
Yeah, and little things, like introducing yourself right away, make a huge difference. It helps the conversation flow and shows professionalism, even if it's just a casual call.
For sure. Speaking of which, many English language learners say they are afraid to talk on the phone in English because they can't hear as clearly as they can in a face-to-face conversation, and they can't see the other person's face, gestures, etc., which causes them to be nervous on the phone.
It's true, even I get a little nervous on the phone sometimes. But don't worry, today's video is all about telephone conversations and useful phrases.
And we'll cover a few major phone call situations, and we've also made you a comprehensive PDF with almost all the expressions and vocabulary related to phone calls, with which you won't have to worry about making phone calls in English anymore.
Let's get started.
1. Starting a call. All right, let's dive into starting a call. Noah, how do you usually begin a formal phone call? Like, if you were calling about a job, what would you say?
Well, I always make sure to introduce myself first and explain why I'm calling. For example, hi, this is Noah Carter. I'm calling to follow up on the marketing position I applied for. It's important to sound polite and confident right away.
Oh, I like that. It sounds professional, but not overly formal.
Giving your name and reason up front is super helpful, especially when the person answering probably deals with lots of calls every day. It saves time and makes you sound prepared.
What about if I need to talk to a specific person? Would you say something like, "Can I talk to Mr. Wilson?" Or is there a better way?
You could say that, but something like, good morning, I'd like to speak to Mr. Wilson in the marketing department, please, sounds more polite and professional. Using I'd like to instead of I want to softens the tone, which is especially important for formal or business calls.
Oh, that makes sense.
And being polite doesn't mean being stiff. It just shows you're respectful, which people really appreciate.
Okay, now, what about confirming appointments?
When confirming something, it's a good habit to include all the important details, like the date and time. For example, instead of just saying my appointment tomorrow, you'd specify my appointment for tomorrow at 3 p.m. It avoids confusion and makes the conversation smoother.
Right, so the key is being specific, like giving exact dates, times, or reasons for the call.
Also, keep your tone friendly but clear. You don't need to over-explain.
Got it. So, the formula is name, purpose, and clear details. That's easy to remember. Second, answering a call. Okay, Noah, let's talk about answering a call. How would you handle it if you were working at like a front desk?
Oh, I'd go with something standard but professional, like, good afternoon, this is Green Tech office. Noah speaking. How may I assist you? It's clear, polite, and lets the caller know they've reached the right place.
That sounds great. You included the company name, your name, and offered help all in one sentence. Why is that important?
Well, it makes the caller feel welcome and confident that you can assist them. Plus, it keeps things efficient. They don't have to ask, who am I speaking to? Or, is this Green Tech?
Right. It saves time. What if it's a personal call? Like, when you don't recognize the number?
Good point. In that case, I'd say something like, hi, you've reached Noah Carter. May I know who's calling?
That's smart. You're not just jumping in or guessing. It keeps the tone friendly without sounding suspicious.
Yeah, and here's another one for front desk calls. Thank you for calling. Can you tell me a bit more about your inquiry so I can connect you to the right person? It's especially useful when you're transferring calls.
Oh, I like that. It's like you're guiding the conversation and making sure they get help quickly.
Because you're not just answering the call, you're steering it in the right direction.
Good tip. All right, ready to talk about asking for information or clarification. 3. Asking for information or clarification. So, one of the most common things we do when we're on the phone is asking for information or clarification. Imagine you're on a call with your bank about a transaction issue. What's your tips if you didn't catch something they said?
I'd probably say, I'm sorry, could you repeat that last part? I didn't quite catch it. It's simple, polite, and lets them know I'm trying to follow the conversation.
That's a good one. Adding, I'm sorry makes it softer, right? It shows you're being considerate, not just interrupting.
Exactly. It's always better to ask rather than guess. Otherwise, you might misunderstand something important, especially with financial matters.
Right. What if you're confused by a term they're using, like processing fee? How would you ask about that?
In that case, I'd say something like, can you clarify what you mean by processing fee? Does it apply to all transactions? It's a good way to make sure you understand the details.
That's a great habit. I think asking for clarification not only helps you, but also makes the other person realize they might need to explain better.
Yes, and it also shows you're paying attention. Like if they mention something about a deadline, I'd confirm it to avoid mistakes.
So you could say, just to confirm, the payment will be processed by 5 p.m. tomorrow, right? That sounds clear and professional.
Rephrasing what they said is such a good trick. It ensures both sides are on the same page.
Yeah, and it avoids awkward situations where you think you understood, but you didn't. It's like double checking in real time. 4th, handling technical issues. Imagine you're in a remote meeting and suddenly the audio cuts out. It's pretty common, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd probably say something like, I'm sorry, the line seems to be breaking up. Could you say that again? It makes sure the conversation keeps going even though there's an issue.
That sounds good. You're acknowledging the problem without sounding frustrated. It keeps things calm.
It's all about making sure they know what's happening without making them feel like it's their fault.
What if the issue is bigger? How would you handle that?
In that case, I'd say, I think there's an issue with the connection. Let me hang up and call you back in a moment. Offering a solution like calling back shows you're taking charge and resolving the issue.
That's a great move. I like that approach.
Yeah, it's more helpful than just saying, I can't hear you.
And if the problem's on my side, how would you handle that?
Well, I'd say something like, can you hear me now? I think the signal might be weak on my end. Being honest about the issue is really important.
Ah, that's a good one.
And when you admit it's on your side, it gives the other person a chance to help you fix it too.
True. And staying calm even when things aren't going smoothly. That's key. 5th, ending a call. And finally, when your call is done, there are some things that you need to be aware of, right?
Right, you can say something like, it was great speaking with you. Have a wonderful day. Because ending on a positive note always leaves a good impression.
Yeah, I love that. You're leaving the door open for future conversations.
Exactly. It's nice to end the conversation on a warm, happy note, especially in semi-formal or casual calls.
Right. And what if it's a more formal call, like with a client or business partner?
In that case, I'd say something like, thank you so much for your time. I'll send you the details we discussed in an email shortly. That's clear and confirms next steps.
Perfect. You're thanking them and making sure they know what's coming next.
It's about showing appreciation and setting expectations for the follow-up.
And what about informal calls, like with a friend or someone you've worked with before?
Well, I'd say, thanks for your help. I'll follow up next week. Take care. It's casual, friendly, and gives a clear next step, but in a relaxed way.
I like that one. It feels natural. You're keeping it easygoing.
For sure. It's important to match the tone of the call. Whether it's professional or casual, you want to end things on a positive, clear note.
Totally agree. So, whether you're finishing a business call or just chatting with a friend, ending politely and clearly is key.
Exactly. All right, Luna, that's a wrap on today's episode.
Thanks, Noah. I hope our listeners learned some useful phone phrases today. So, guys, these 5 situations are all we have for today's video, so make sure you head over to our website and download the PDF to learn more expressions and vocabulary about phone conversations.
Yes, this PDF covers almost everything you need, and you can find more great English learning resources on our website. We'll see you in the next episode.